Now that we have our post model create view as well as our post model detail view, it's time to combine the two of them to make our post model update view and then eventually our post model delete view. So those two things are going to kind of go hand in hand. So the create view, I'm going to go ahead and copy all of it and paste it right below. And now I'm going to add in one more parameter here and say ID equals to none. And then I'm going to call this the post model update view. And everything else is pretty much going to be the same with the exception of how I return everything. I'm just going to go ahead and return the redirect, and then I'll say updated post as the message. And then now what we have to do is actually get the object. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this call here. So get object or 404. So we need the object, and then we also can put it inside of this form. And then here I can say instance equals to object. I'll save that. We will definitely bring this in and see what I need to do. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my blog URLs here, and I'm going to import the post model update view, and then I'm going to copy the post model detail view because that one is how we are going to work with this. And then at the very end, I'll just say edit, and then I'll put post model update view here, and we're going to call this update. Okay, we'll save that, and we are going to go back into our view. Notice that we have our create view as our template. We can still use the exact same template form if we wanted to, but I'm going to use update view. I'm just going to copy it and make it into a new template, so it's just a little bit more dynamic for us. And then in my context, I'm going to go ahead and add in the object as well, just in case. I probably don't need it, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now inside of here, we're going to make a new template, call it update-view.html, and then I'm going to copy the create view, and I'll just say update, and we should change the context to object.title, and we'll see something in just a moment about that. I'm going to get rid of these messages because I don't need them to render here, and then let's go back into our view, and let's make sure that the context is the same as what we did with the detail view. Again, being consistent is very important here. So object is obj. Okay, so we save that, and let's go ahead and go into our blog. So we go to item 1, and it takes us to 1. If I do edit at the end of it, it actually takes me to edit, and it shows me the same form, but with data filled out. So if I change this to new and hit create, it says updated post, and it brings me back to that post. Really cool, very easy, not a whole lot different than the actual create view, but it allows us to actually update our post dynamically how we see fit. So another thing that I want to do is go back into our URL here, back into our view here and talk about how we have our object, but we also have our actual form coming through, and the form has some data in it. So what I want to do is jump back into the update view. Where is that? There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and say form.instance.title. I'm going to instance.title. I refresh in here, and notice that the actual form.instance is the same as the object. So this context right here doesn't need to exist. So I can get rid of it completely. And now I have this object, and this instance actually is there, right? So I actually am able to show those two things. Now, here's something that I'm going to leave you guys with a thought, is how is it that we can write pretty much the exact same view twice, but we didn't really change a whole lot? Like the things that we changed are fairly straightforward, like the message changes, right? And I also don't even need to show the message. The redirect changes, there's only slight little changes that actually happen between these two. So the question should be, could we combine these two? I'm going to leave you with that question for a whole nother video because we still want to do the delete view. We're really close to finishing off CRUD for this particular project. But what I want to also note is that these create view and update view, it's probably best if they're in login required decorators for all of them. Now, I'm not going to do that now because I still want to test them and not have to worry about logging in. But I do want to make that clear to you guys that it is something that you would probably want to do when you're doing something in CRUD, unless it's like a contact page or something like that. But for the most part, you're going to want to have these things behind user authentication because it just adds a whole nother level of security for dealing with your backend system, especially when it comes to updating things. Okay, cool. So that's it for now. I think that we've covered a lot here, but there's still a couple more concepts that I want to explore. One of them being the detail view or the delete view. Another one being a way to update our list view to do handling just minor little search stuff. So if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.